Why, hi guys, welcome to Bajerski Crystal Channel. It's a great day today to talk about a very special crystal, but also a very great and powerful technique in how to heal the body in certain places. Focused healing is a really beautiful thing to do and practice. And the reason why we call it focused healing is because we're specifically targeting a certain part of the physical and emotional body, and that focused energy is kind of like you take the energy from the universe and bring it down to a point where it's almost like a laser beam. And literally a lot of my clients over the years when I was full on healing I used to say to them, okay, I'm going to focus heal on your body and tell me if you can feel anything. And I would sometimes go to the third eye and just focused heal there, and they'd say, oh, I feel something here, and people would be sat watching, and then I'd go to a different part of the body and then focus heal on the back, and they'd say, oh, I feel something on my back. So focused healing is very powerful. A lot of people can feel, a lot of people are so tied up in their world, so tied up in their life, so stuffed with negativity that it's very difficult for them to feel anything. So you really need somebody fairly attuned to feel these things. But there are moments that I noticed that certain people who are going through dramatic stress, terrible pain and fear, to clearing that pain and fear with focused energy work. And as a pure energy healer, I learned to bring that energy into a certain point and work with it. Now, this video today is for you guys, and it's also here to explain just a fraction of how it works. I can't go into this because it's kind of like half a day mentoring and showing you how it's done, but I've simplified things down for you today so you can give it a go. So 16 years ago I was working at my first show. I think it was my first or second show, and yeah, I was gifted a crystal which was a Moldavite, and it blew me away. And from that moment on, I've never kind of looked back. And because I'm now just entering into the final stages of The Power of Moldavite, which is the book that I've been working on for many years, I'm putting all these pieces together and sharing with you the power of this one beautiful crystal. However, there are many crystals that can do the same work, and all you need is the point of the crystal pointer. So to the extreme of one and another, I'm just going to show you what I'm wearing today. Is I often wear this particular crystal, and the reason why is because it's not that big, so it's not causing an issue on my body when I'm moving. And it's basically a Moldavite petite. It's from my petite collection, and just because they're petite, don't let that fool you. They are extremely powerful. And the reason why I say that is because I wore this kind of petite. This is the kind of crystal I was gifted when I first touched a Moldavite, and I felt as if my body was elevating. And from that moment on, I realized what the elevation of Moldavite is and why it does that. It's an extremely powerful crystal, but as you can see, the very end of this crystal has a little pointer, perfect to be able to do the work, okay? But the extreme is when I was working over the 16 years, I was getting many different crystals and working with them simultaneously, sometimes just letting one go, picking one up, and to the point where I used to use this kind of crystal. So you can see this is my crystal collection, which is about to go onto the website, which is basically palm crystals. So you hold them in the palm of your hand, or you hold them like this, different ways of holding them. This is my favorite way, okay? So my palm would be just about here, and I would grasp here, and then I would focus the energy to the point. As you can see, there's a beautiful point just there. So this is focused healing, I call. So from the big palm crystals to the petite crystal, which is the most powerful? Take a wild guess. You are the most powerful. These are just tools. and they work amazingly well in their own uniqueness. So the power of the universe, the universal flow, the energy of healing, which is always around, which is freely accessible, when that pours through your energy, and the way it pours through your energy is from a clear mind, body and spirit. And if not, then when you're doing the healing work, you will heal yourself first before you actually heal somebody else. So I often say to people, you know, when people say to me, oh, what if a woman gives me bad healing? What if a man gives me bad healing? There's only two things that can ever happen when you give healing. One, you give healing. Two, you give nothing. That's the bottom line with healing. So what that means is, if you're, just say you're at a show, an event, or you go to for a healing session from a healer, proclaimed healer, and you look at them and think, oh my God, they look like they need healing. Well, actually, you should smile in a sense, because you've been brought to help them heal. So what happens is, when you're lying down, and you probably figure out that when you're lying there, nothing's happening, it doesn't feel like you're really getting anything. However, the person who's healing you is actually being healed two ways. One, because you're healing them through your natural healing ability, and two, when they're trying to bring healing into you, it first has to go through them and heal them before they are the vessel to be able to, for you to be able to feel that very healing. And therefore, as a pure energy healer, we all know it's what I teach. First of all, you can only be the best healer in the world when you are healed yourself. So ultimately, to become a vessel for healing, you have to have no blocks, no issues, no worries at that given moment when you're doing the healing work. And thus, I always share with all my healers, my friends, my colleagues, people that are in the industry, it's so vital that when you give a healing session, you should be 100%. So people used to come here and knock on the door, and I would open the door and say, I'm extremely sorry, I am not 100% well, so you will not get 100% healing. And is it possible if you can come back another day? And yes, they may be disappointed, but I would always say, look, the healing session that I will give you when I'm ready will be free of charge. But by keeping that foundation, by keeping that belief system that it's so important to be 100%, and oh, okay, I don't feel good, but I'll give you a healing session, that all that does is heal you. And really, the last thing you want to do is go to somebody who isn't well, who is receiving the healing more than you, right? Because who's paying who? So we go to the little tiny beautiful crystal Moldavite. If you have a petite one or any shape, size Moldavite, look for the pointer. Look for the point in it, okay? If you don't have a Moldavite, get yourself any crystal at all. As long as it's got a little pointer somewhere, you know. You can hold like a big one, and if it's got a pointer, make sure you're working with that point. So like for this one, it has many points, but if I focus my energy here, then this is where the point will be here, okay? Right? You will find if it has more points, it will go out of these places as well. If you can see energy, you can see them shooting out of the points. Just diverting a little bit, this is a very beautiful crystal, Lemurian quartz. It's got lots of pointers here, and a wonderful way to heal people in a room is by holding it like this, receiving the energy and letting the pointers shoot out, and then moving your hand around the room. Also amazing for cleansing work in the room as well if there's negative energy. So I used to use this particular crystal as a cleanser of a room, and I would just move my hands like that, always keeping this hand out to receive and feeling the energy moving around the room. This is great. So this is like, I think there's 33 pointers on this altogether, maybe a few more, because you can see the little, I don't know if you can see, there's little tiny pointers here, but I counted around 33. So that's the other one. So let's get back to it, shall we? Okay, so today I'll be using a technique that I use when I have a strain. I had like headaches, migraines, which is very, very rare. But on my clients, this is what I would do as well. If there were a point where somebody had a break in the leg, or if somebody had an issue in their body, one thing that I don't want to go into too much detail, but sometimes X never marks the spot. However, it sometimes does help release the pain from that particular place, but doesn't always heal the root cause. I'll try and explain this to you, seeing as though, we're going into this, but there are certain places in the body that manifest an energy, and it could be a very, very negative energy. It could be an illness, and from that point there are muscles, there are parts of the body, this beautiful body that has sensors, and it moves to certain parts and then stops. So you can feel certain pains in the body, but that isn't always the root cause. So we can be a little bit fooled by somebody walking into your room, holding their leg, saying, oh, my leg, and your belief system is that, oh, I need to heal the leg. As a true healer, we learn to clear that out of our life and say, okay, I'm not looking at that, and I'm going to go to where I feel I need to go. And a lot of the times, what seems to be the root cause is only the symptom being shown from the root cause, but the root cause can be somewhere completely different. And thus we have to learn to ignore what our eyes are showing us and close our eyes and feel when we need to go to the body. So I'll give you a for instance. I always use this lady as an analogy, as a great focal point of why the healing is so important in not looking at the client and just taking that away. And this beautiful lady, and she had the same name as my mother, Marissa. She used to come, and she normally when she was happy, she was fine. She could walk fine. But when she was very stressed, her, I think, left foot used to twist slightly, so she struggled to walk. And I always used to work on her foot for the first, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months when I first met her, thinking that it was the foot. And I realized it wasn't really helping. It helped a little bit, but it didn't actually cure the root cause. And as I started learning about healing and ignoring what I was told by all the other healers in the world and the Reiki and the pranic healing and all of these masters, I thought, you know what, just see and feel and work for yourself. So I took all of that away and turned it into a beautiful clear canvas. And I thought to myself, okay, there is nothing wrong with this lady at all. Let me just flow around the body. So I cleared my mind of what I saw was wrong with her and took it as a clear, unique, perfect body. And I started to what's called scan. So I started going up and down the body, and all of a sudden I would, with her, I went to the right side of her head, and I could feel the burning sensation in my hand. So I would take a Moldavite or one of these crystals with a pointer, and I would channel the energy to exactly where my hand was burning. So first of all, I would use my hand solely and work around that, clearing away and blasting my energy. And then I would take the crystal as a final 15 minutes and just work in that particular place. And you can feel the heat burning, you can feel the tingling, you can feel the sensation. And a lot of the times you can feel exactly the same pain where they have that pain. You have it because you become a mirror image of that person when you're really in the energy of pure energy healing. So you would work your energy around there and you would blast the energy through and clear away. I found very quickly after a few months that her foot was back to normal again. And then everything was fine. But then she'd come back again. And then I'd realize, you know what? Healing is beautiful because now I found where the root cause is. I can clear it and the healing would last a lot longer. However, she would come back maybe 6 months later and she'd be in pain again. So then I started asking myself, okay, so where the issue isn't the answer, because we worked on that and it helped a little. We go to the root cause of the place, and that helps tremendously, but it doesn't heal the problem altogether. So where do we go next? So we sit down and we talk, and then I'd find out after feeling and reading a few cards that there was an issue with work. And the work was that she had a business partner, and every time they were in conflict, she would get this terrible pain in her foot. So we realize now that it's not the foot. It's not here where the problem is. It's the actual issue of life that causes all the two other effects. So we got to the root cause, which is what the problem in her life was, which is normally to say that of every illness. So I said, what do you really feel in your heart? In your true heart, if you had the answer, what would you do? Well, I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't want to fight. Well, do you think that there could be a point in your life that you would ever agree and you wouldn't fight? Actually, Mark, probably not. And I said, I agree. So what do we do from here? So it was then about finding a new way to move forward and no longer fight with this person. So eventually she ended up, they both separated, and I don't actually want to go into the details, but she ended up moving away from that. And of course, her life became a little bit complicated because now she has to start again, and she worked through all that, and now she's happy, and now everything's fine. So it is one thing going to the root cause of the physical and emotional issue here, but you need to understand why that's happened. So this is basically part 2 of the 3 parts. So the first part is where the pain is. The second part is where to find out where the pain originates from. And thirdly, you need to find out how that started, where it all began. So let's take the Moldavite, and we'll take some oil. So on me now, I was reversing my car the other day for, I would say, at least 7 minutes, because I instead of driving half a mile on the Poligono Industrial, I decided to reverse back. It was very quiet, nobody was there. So I was reversing back. And when you reverse back, you kind of hold on to the seat next to you and you turn your head, and with this hand you reverse back. Because my body is not used to doing that on a tightness, I found that I had a real tight issue on my back of my neck. So what I would do is go for the cleansing oil. So I take, and all you need to do is take any oil that you like to work with, and I placed 3 drops. And then I rub this oil like this and breathe it in first through my nose. And breathe all the negativity out of your mouth. Focused on that pain, breathing it out. When you breathe in, you focused on that energy, and when you breathe out, you bring it all the way through and out of your mouth. It's called venting negative energy and emotion. I do that a few times. When I finished, I would take the crystal that I'm working with the same oil that I breathed in, and on my fingers, I would then rub it all over the crystal, Moldavite, or whatever crystal you're working with. Okay? Then I would go to exactly the place where your neck is hurting, or your pain, wherever your pain is, and rub that oil. Okay? Then I'd take the crystal and I'd scan the body. Okay, so you can do it one of 2 ways. You can hold the crystal in your hand and scan the whole of your body, always holding your hand out. Or you can keep the crystal aside for the moment and you can just use your whole hand to scan the body. So scanning means that you go into a gentle motion and you go all over your body. Okay, so right here, my hand started to get very hot, and I can feel a tingling on the side of my forehead, just here. My left finger is now on fire. So I'm feeling that my issue here is where I need to focus on. Now I'm going to do a quick scan of the rest of my body. Okay, so again, I've got a burning sensation here where my Buddha tattoo is, just there on the nose section. So that's 2 places. I'm moving down my legs and then behind my legs, going across the groin, stomach, heart, chest, liver, kidneys. Always breathing, always to remember to breathe. Breathe in through the nose, blow out through the mouth as you do this. You're always picking up residue, negative, dirty energy as you're doing it, so you need to blow it out through your mouth. Okay, everything else feels okay. So I have 2 points that I'm going to work on now. First point is round here. Second point is round here. So now I take the crystal in my hand and I focus the energy through my fingers. Hold, always remember to hold this hand out. Breathe through the nose, blow out through the mouth. And now I'm going to begin. You don't need to touch the skin. It's not necessary. Work in any motion you want, clockwise, anti-clockwise, across, whichever brush up, down, side, doesn't matter. Whatever feels comfortable. If your hand starts to get uncomfortable, be wise and put your elbow somewhere where it's resting. It could take a few minutes to start to generate that energy to come through, but if you do it in a natural way, just let the work be done. It happens in its own moment. Don't rush, don't expect, don't want. Just do the motion. Because what you're thinking is it's not working, could be working very, very powerfully. Because sometimes it takes a lot to break down the walls of the energy that we protect ourselves with. So now I'm feeling it. So now whatever's happened is it's broken through and it's now going to my ear. So I can feel like a very raw, sensitive feeling here. And it's going straight here into my ear. So there is work being done, which is great news. Actually, my neck feels a lot better just in them few moments. Amazing, really. Okay, so now it's going to my eye. So whatever's happening, my eye is tingling like crazy. So this is all good news. This is saying that the healing is taking place, that there must have been some issue from the pain in my neck, which has caused an issue to my ear, to my eye. So this is healing. This is healing all aspects of my body, which needs to be healed because of the strain of my neck. Now, bearing in mind, I was just simply reversing back. So that isn't an emotional issue. So this is two steps. Okay, the third step, which is why that happened, doesn't really count on this, because it isn't about an emotional trauma of something happening in my daily life that is causing me issue. It was simply an action of a movement. Like if I go for a run and trip, then you have step 1, which is where the pain is, and step 2, where the pain actually happened or generated from. Okay, that feels good. And just so you were aware as well, that's not always a case, because if I take a hammer, okay, if I take this and smash myself there, that would be state or case 1, step 1. So the healing process is here. So you would just generally heal here, because that was the impact, it was how it happened, and it's there, and that's where the pain is. So bear in mind, when I speak about healing, I talk about many stages of healing and many reasons why healing needs to take place. It's not just a simple black and white. There's grey spots with everything. And you know, if you smash yourself here, okay, and you come to see me in 3 weeks, okay, I might be healing another part of the body, because the reason why is because you're not using this now, and then you're using this more, and if you're using this more, then you're trying to counteract the pain of this. So now I feel stress in this hand. So there's so many reasons why we heal different parts of the body when people come to healing from us. A bit like the knees, somebody will come and say, oh, this leg or this knee is really bad, and you'll realize that it's bad because there's something wrong with this one. If you're unsure, like I've told you before, if you've ever watched any of my videos, if you're unsure, you know, that should I do the healing on this knee or should I do the healing on this knee, what makes sense is do the healing on both sides. So like for me now I've done healing here, there's no reason at all why you can't go to the opposite side and do the same on the other side, because maybe what's happening is you're trying to counteract the suffering of here, and then all of a sudden, okay, you're counteracting and using more muscle on this side, therefore it makes sense to go to the opposite side and do a little bit of healing there. So that's another great tip. You'll always see me doing healing on both sides of the chest, both sides of the hips, the kidneys, and people say, why are you healing both sides? Well, because maybe one is trying to counteract the other, therefore they both need healing for different reasons. There's more stress on this one. So this needs healing for the reasons why we know, but this also needs a lot of more healing energy to give it more power and strength to be able to counteract that. So I hope that makes sense. So second part now, guys, I'm trying to get through this a little bit quick because I don't want to make it too long. Obviously, you know, we can talk for hours, but so now I would do the same here. Again, not 100% sure why, but let me close my eyes and just work on here. So I'm going to rest my hand down and continue the work here. Holding my hand out to receive and breathing gently through the nose and blowing out through the mouth. The word I like to use is thank you, meaning that it's already healed. Okay, so I'm getting a tingling up my arm and it's going to the back of my shoulder. That kind of makes sense because I went skiing the other day, and on the final ski day I fell about 16 times because I was skiing with a family who were expert skiers, and you know what happens when you try and keep up with people, that's when it all goes wrong, and I was falling left, right and centre. Prior to that I never fell at all, and that's a beautiful story of life when I thought about that. I'll talk about that another day. Okay, so it's going to the back of my neck now. So now that's making sense. So here we're healing. So whatever's happened on my neck could have caused issue to the nerves down to here. So that's kind of now making sense to me. And okay, this is how healing works. Sometimes it takes a while for it to make sense, but now it does. So that's great. And I can feel the healing taking place. This little finger is starting to tingle like crazy. So I can feel the healing taking place. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I can feel the flow of healing going through my body at the same time. So it's really, really great. And it feels really positive as well. So we say thank you for that free energy around us all the time that passes through us when we hold our hand out and simply accept and receive. So I can feel now a little bit of stiffness at the back of my shoulder. So what I'm going to do is place this hand at the back of my shoulder, get comfortable, keeping this hand in the upwards position, palms up towards the universal energy, so it's flowing beautifully through the hand, and now through the whole of my body, up this hand, around and through here, and out of this hand, and I can feel the warmth taking place now. I can feel the healing taking place here. I can feel the healing taking place on my Buddha's nose. And now I can feel the healing taking place in my shoulder. So that is doing really, really good work. Deep breath through the nose, blow out through the mouth. And just say thank you. If you feel at any moment that there is any other pain directed in the body, which I do now, feel at the back here, I'm going to place my hand there and continue. My neck honestly feels a lot better. Okay, that's good. See, it doesn't take forever. But you know, a lot of the times you can get so hooked on self-healing that you can be there for an hour and just don't want to go. You want to lie down and feel it, because when you get into the real flow of healing, it's a beautiful energy. I always normally finish off on the top of my head, because the energy flow that goes through you is always beautiful to get into your head and your heart. So because this hand is generating such beautiful energy, I then would place that on my heart, and together I would always use the word, no one has the power over me. Repeat that word, no one has the power over me. And mean it when you say it, no one has the power over me. And finish with thank you. Deep breath, blow out through your mouth all the toxins. 3 times. Last breath, deep. Hold. Breathe out. That's beautiful, right? There you go, guys. It's that simple, nothing challenging about it. It's just a simple case of scanning the body using a beautiful Moldavite or any crystal and oil on them places and working on them. That is what you call pure energy healing, self-healing. Have a great day, guys, till tomorrow. Just to confirm to a lot of people, lots of you are booking on the Pure Energy Healing course in North America, which is in Toronto. That is we deliberately chose an extended holiday weekend, which is Easter. That's on the 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th of April. You're all booking on there now. Thank you so much, guys. I'm looking forward to meeting you all and sharing this wisdom and much more intricate wisdom with you, which you will love. And also lots of people are now booking on the course in Europe, which is here in Spain. That's on June the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th on the Costa del Sol. Loads of people are booking on that from all over the world. Canada, USA, UK, Ireland, Mexico, Australia, Norway, Where else? Look, I don't know, but you're coming from all over. So that's beautiful. I really, really appreciate that, and I'm so looking forward to meeting you all. We're going to have an amazing 4 days. We really are. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope you can all join me at one of these two venues for this year. It's going to be amazing. I hope this little video serves you well. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for going to markbajerski.com and buying your genuine, authentic healing tools. All the sages that I sell, the incense sticks, and the crystals that I've worked on by my own hands. They've served me well for 16 years. I hope they serve you well now to help you heal, recover, and become the most strongest, beautiful soul that you always have been. Time to heal. This is the year. 2020 is our year of enlightenment, awakening, and healing. It is our time for health and well-being. Have a great day, guys. Thank you once again. Bye.